because they make it. They're like, you know, you're not going to get it cheaper than me making it for you and building it into a folding box.
I suppose that's a great USP on a sales pitch, isn't it?
Yeah, right. So what we did was to challenge that, because it was like, okay, that's great. You know, you guys have done everything you think you can for this particular market. Let's challenge it by going to the tier 2. So we did much like we do on the PCBAs, we did a multifaceted RFQ. So it was 2 steps. First step is looking at that paper. So going to the direct mill relationships, because they had enough volume, like plenty of tonnage to justify going direct to the mill. And so we were looking at paper mills in Europe, paper mills in South America, paper mills in North America, to say, is what you're getting from the vertically integrated partners in North America correct? Like, should that be what you're paying, or should we be looking at potentially even better alternative specs that are better from a carbon footprint perspective, cheaper in cost, and just overall easier to print on? You know, there's a lot that goes into evaluating these vendors. And what we realized was that for their particular use case, European mills produced a superior paper that was going to be integrated in a much better way for what they needed at a much better cost. So we were able to drop the main, if 50% of your cost is related to paper, we were able to drop that material cost by 25%. Oh, wow. But then also a carbon footprint reduction of 80%. So you're winning on sustainability and cost. So the beauty of that is now I have a negotiated paper cost that covers most of my, if not all of my raw material input outside of like inks. And I'm giving that to somebody who can make the box. So I'm taking the power out of the vertically integrated player's hands, and I'm giving it back to my client, where the client can now negotiate much more effectively on the finished good price.
I love that. I love that. Because that's when we're talking about clarity, when we're talking about transparency, that's really, you know, a perfect example of that. Because it is, you know, we say transparency. What does that actually mean? It's that clarity, but without the politics. Without the USP and sales pitch of, you know, well, you're not going to be able to beat us in what we do because, you know, we're vertically integrated.
Right. So it ultimately it boils down to the transparency, but also the network that Paul and I have built up over the 30 years. So we're able to go out into a variety of different commodity sectors and take them to our trusted partners that we know like the back of our hand, so that they can then give us a no BS evaluation of the technical percent to get right?
Right.
Which is what happens in most procurement.
Right. But obviously Michael and I, we are a global business, you know, across Europe and America, North America. Lots of businesses we're working with as well in Asia. But, you know, our network, albeit we're looking at the same things, paper, you know, a particular part number for a capacitor, going to different people is